Let's talk about real estate a little bit this morning. I think we're hearing a lot of buzz on the ground that it's a buyer's market, but if you are a seller out there, it can be your market too. Grace Frank is here. She has the Grace Frank Group, and not only will she talk about real estate, she's now an author.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your book.
Thanks.
You call it Secrets for
I
Sellers.
do, yep. I also write children's books.
So tell us about Secret for Sellers.
Well, it's a no-nonsense, action-packed, full of information for sellers to sell smart and not leave money on the table. It's 23 chapters, full of great information. I see sellers all the time that they don't do things correctly. They make a lot of mistakes. And one mistake can cost you thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So this is a great book to read. You can get it online, or I can send it to you or deliver it to you. But it really helps sellers, no nonsense, figure out ways to masterfully list their home.
Okay, so I mentioned off the bat that we're hearing it's kind of a buyer's market.
It is, yeah.
And that's not to mean that you can take advantage of a seller. It's just that
Right.
things are evening out, which is good for everybody.
It is, yeah.
But here you are talking about mistakes that can cost you thousands.
Yeah.
What's the biggest mistake people make?
Okay, I have this really great visual. Have you ever seen the giraffe with the umbrella and it's standing out of the crowd of all the other umbrellas?
Yeah.
Well, visualize that's what you want your home or your property to look like.
Oh, okay, that's a
with
good
all
thing.
to all the buyers.
Right.
You want it to stand out. So how do you allow it to stand out? You have to really focus on not just launching it, but not just listing it, but really launching it, having it be amazing.
Like
on
a
launch.
blitz, like a blitz.
It's a whole concept. It's everything. It's a launch. It's not just a list.
Okay, so because we're far past the old days when we bought our first house, where you'd go to the grocery store, you'd come home with a little magazine, you'd look through, circle some houses you liked, and call a realtor and go. Digital is everything now.
It's everything. 99% of all buyers are online looking. Even the 99-year-old
Right,
buyers
right.
are online looking.
So that's part of that launch. Right?
It is. You have to have a launch. You can't just list it. You have to have a launch.
Now, I'm all a big believer in saving the best for the end, but our secret got out because people have now seen Cody. So we got to talk about Cody.
Yeah. Well, Cody is my dog. And one of my favorite chapters in the book, chapter 20, is why your dog wants me to sell your home.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a great chapter.
Do we have to read it to get the answer?
You have to read it to get the answer.
Okay. So you know what? Okay, let me ask you this. I'm a big believer in letting your personality show through. I know you have to make sure a house looks professional for people coming in to view it, but let's say that you are a pet owner. Is it kind of fun to let people coming into your house see pictures of your pets, or do you have to make it all generic? Should you embrace who you are as a person?
You can embrace who you are as a person, but here's a challenge. Some people are allergic to dogs. Some people are allergic to cats. They get very nervous in some situations. So we always say, crate them somewhere or take them away.
You don't want them walking around.
Exactly, yeah.
Certainly.
So but you want your personality to show, but you just need to be mindful that there are a lot of people who are afraid of animals or have allergies. So you need to be mindful about that.
Talk about pricing, since it is a buyer's market. Are people having to be far more careful to not overprice their home?
Well, here's the question. Is it pricing or is it marketing?
You have to elaborate.
Okay, so people think it's about the price. I'll give you a perfect example. Recently, I previewed an expired listing that price was fine. It wasn't a problem. The agent had taken pictures with his iPhone, which you don't want to do. You want to have a professional photo shoot. The remarks did not tell a story of the target market of the buyer, so it didn't stand out. So it went on the market for 6 months, priced well, everything around it sold, higher price. It wasn't the price, it was the marketing. It's like the giraffe that stands out of all the other umbrellas. You know, you want it to really stand out and tell the story about that property.
Yeah, it's like Jay Peterman for real estate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm a creative writer. I love telling the story and focusing on the target market and really ensuring that there's a story to be told.
Yep.
There's photography that shows it. You create the story that makes things stand out.
There's a romance in real estate,
Oh.
isn't there?
There's a total romance in real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about what sellers kind of should do in terms of making sure that they do stand out. They're the giraffe above the crowd. Some things maybe not to do. Is it still, though, this is a good time, should they contact you first before they go making any changes to their house and get professional guidance before they say, oh, I'll paint the front door red?
I always love to be involved in that because sometimes they think there's things that they should do that they don't need to do. And I always tell them return on investment. If you're not going to get a 3-to-1 return on your investment, don't do it.
Okay.
That's why we use professional stagers. You met Laurel last time. You know, it's a psychological, emotional situation.
Right.
There's a lot we can do with virtual staging. So there's so many things that we can do to make a property stand out without costing a lot of money. They just have to walk through that with a professional and figure out what makes sense, what will not get them the return on their investment.
And let me say this to people too, because it'll circle back to what Grace was saying about her book, that it's a no-nonsense read.
No nonsense.
She's a no-nonsense person. And so when you were here with Laurel the other week, other month, in case you didn't catch it, one of her favorite things to do in staging is using the furniture you already have.
Exactly.
They're not about clearing out your house and bringing in new.
Right.
They want it to reflect who you are.
Exactly.
Okay, I wish that my dog was as calm as you were, Cody. You'll have to read the book to find out why he says you should contact Grace. And you can get the book where?
secretsforsellers.com. You can download it, or you can also request a mailing of it, or I can stop one by your home and preview your house.
Love to see
Yeah.
it. Thank
Yeah.
you, Grace.
Thank you.
Good boy.